So you can see I've come out today with my Franka Solida III camera, and I'm going to be taking a photograph of this nice little jetty. The last couple of times I've been down here, it's been very bright, or it's been very blue skies, nothing much in the clouds going on. But today, the sky is very flat. It's light overcast, but there's not really any information or no definition in the sky whatsoever. And sometimes that can make a really nice seascape scene. So I'm envisioning with this a sort of light grey sky, just a blanket. And then the rest of the image is going to be the jetty and the water. Now I'm not going to be able to get into any silky smooth waters or any long shutter speeds because I haven't got any ND filters for this camera, but I should be able to get some nice pics. This is a 6x6 medium format camera, so the Negs are nice and big, square format as well, which is one of my favourite formats. And it's raining. When I came out it weren't raining. I get down there and the heavens have started to open up. The light meter gave me a 30th of a second at f16, but I'm going to bracket my shots on the shutter speeds just to be on the safe side. I've only come down here to take a photograph of this scene, so it makes sense for me to bracket my shots, make sure I get some decent Negs to work with in the darkroom. Done. That's a pain in the arse, this is. I'm getting soaked. I came out, it weren't raining, and now it is. Oh well. I've got this little tree here as a cover. Yeah, I just wish it wasn't raining. I could have just took my time a little bit more, but when it rains you feel like you got to rush things, you know, but there's no point in rushing anything, no point in coming down, is there? There's a bird, see if I can get that one in the shot. I don't know if I caught that bird then, that would have been nice. So it's 2 days later and I'm back out again. So what happened? I underexposed. I got back, developed the Negs, and they were quite underexposed really, so it was quite tricky to try and make a print. I did make a print in the darkroom. I had to use a contrast fire filter to hold it all back, and I started to get something through, and I put it on Instagram and Facebook to see what you guys thought, and a lot of you thought it was nice. I thought it was nice too, but I know I could do better. So I'm not sure whether the Franka Solida, the shutter speeds at them, the 30th of the shutter speed that I was shooting is playing up a little bit. I don't know. So that's the only thing I can think of, because my meeting room was okay. But I bought out the Mamiya RZ67 this time, or RZ6 or whatever, and it's a little bit better on the weather side. Hopefully I can get these ones in the can this time and get a nice picture of this jetty. Now one thing I liked about the shot that I got on the Franka Solida, you can see what I've set up here. Well, that's not good enough. I want to see the horizon of the sea and the jetty just underneath it. That's half the reason I've also bought the Mamiya out, so I can look through the viewfinder and compose my shot properly. If I lift the GoPro up a little bit, now you can kind of see the composition I want up here. I wouldn't be able to measure that too well with the Franka Solida because it hasn't got a viewfinder. So that's kind of the view I'm going for. We've got some clouds up there. That might look nice in the picture, we'll have to see. Just wait for that sun to go in, if it does. There it goes. Come on, come on, come on. F16, F11. Oh, sun's just come out before I got to F8. Sun's going in, F8. Now I should have the shot that I want. So this is another composition. I don't like those signs on the side of it. What's it like the other side? Clouds look nice this side. Nice and moody. Actually this looks really nice. I'm going to take this one. Got it. F11 again. I'm not going to go to F8. I don't need F8. I'm just going to wait for a seagull. Same composition. I've already hit 2, but I'm just going to wait for a seagull. Don't think one's coming, no. There's never, like buses, there's never a seagull when you want one. Oh, here comes one. Go over that way, you div. It's getting on my nerves, that is. It'd be nice to get a Seagull in the shot if I can. Oh, there's one, missed it, that's too small anyway, you don't want that on the big one. There's never a Seagull when you want one, is there? It's all over your car when you don't want one. When you do want one, then it's not around. I'm at the sea as well, what's that all about? Now the ferry's come over now, I'll have to wait for that ferry to go. There's no Seagulls coming, I'm going to try and get halfway up the jetty. Ugh. F16 again, the sun, oh that's a Seagull, can you believe it? Ah, sun's gone in, wonderful. F16, quick, F11. Tilt the camera up a little bit. F11, F16 again. No Seagulls, right, I saved the last few shots for a couple of different angles. That's with the sunlight, I just went up a stop on that one to 400th of a second, or nearly a stop. I'll just wait now. The last few shots on this composition, or a couple of shots. There you go, F16, F11. So that's all my 15 shots done. Hopefully this time I've got something decent to print. I did bracket, I only did one I think at F8. I just felt F8 was going to be too overexposed, but mainly F11 and F16. The meter gave me F16, but I went F11 just in case I was out for some reason. You know, always be on the side of precaution. Bracketing, there's no problem in doing that. I had 15 shots to kill on this jetty, I only want one. So let's get back, develop this film, and hopefully get a decent print this time. So I'm back in the darkroom again, and as I said earlier on, it was a bit of a tricky time the first time round using the Franka Solida. I chose 30th of a second, which is what the meter gave me, and I decided to bracket my shots only twice, only two different speeds. I chose a 30th and a 50th, and they both come out underexposed, especially the 50th of a second. I'll show you the Negs, so I'm not going to take them out of the protective sleeving, but this is grossly underexposed. This was at 50th of a second, and this was 30th of a second. So you can see my brackets, 50th and a 30th, and again 50th and a 30th, 50th and a 30th. The ones at 30th of a second were a little bit better. I could work with those, and some nice compositions. This is one I decided to work on here. I quite like the composition. With that Franka Solida, you know, it's touch and go. It's an ideal composition, but I didn't actually know I was getting that because you got no viewfinder. You can only just about guess what your composition is going to be. So quite a hard negative to work with, and as soon as you put it on the enlarger, the light just goes through it and starts burning the paper quicker than you can say Jack Robinson. So I went ahead anyway and tried to recover it and try to make a print out of it, and I had to use a contrast 5 filter just to hold things back while I was working on the print, and I started to get some information back out of it, and it was coming through. I had to do a little tiny bit of burning around the posts on the jetty, and also the jetty itself, and then I started doing some burning in the sky using contrast 0, and then I started to burn the line in a little bit more with the burn tool, the horizon I should say, not a line, the horizon, but then this side was just a bit too bright in the sea area, and I was like, you know, how far do you just want to keep trying to fix it in the darkroom before, you know, you end up just saying, look, okay, I'm going to go back and reshoot. And that's what I did. I went back and reshot the scene with the RZ67. Same again, Rollei 400 Retro S film, and shot at 400. And I came back with a much nicer bunch of Negs, and this time round a much nicer print. So I'll show you, I need to make a couple more of these for my website, so I'll show you me making these in the darkroom. And these are the Negs that I've got from the Mamiya RZ67 on the second shoot. So you can see this shot here is F16, then F11 and F8. So you can see F8 was totally overexposed like I thought. F11 I was just clutching at straws, but F16 was what I metered for, and it came out okay. This is my favourite composition, so the camera's up a little tiny bit higher. I've still got the horizon just above the jetty, like I said I wanted, and I've already started making some prints and some test prints on this one, and you can see these are all my test prints for the two sets of negatives. These ones over here are from the first shoot. As you can see, I've been playing around with contrast 5 filters. These were the test prints. Didn't do too many. This was the initial first test print, and you can see, if I can show you that, you can see how underexposed it is. That's the test negative. That's a contrast 2.5 filter, and when my thumb is, that's only 2 seconds. You've got 2, 4, 6, so all of a sudden it's just going darker and darker. That was around about F8, sorry, on the enlarger. So these are the test prints here that I started off with. You can see contrast 5 filter, 5 seconds, and I was doing some dodging and burning tests, and all the way down here, that was one of the first ones I did, contrast 5 at 7 seconds. So a lot of playing around. That there is a max black test for my developer, just making sure that it's still got some flavour in it, and it had at the time. And these are the other tests that I've been doing on the new print I'm just about to make. So you can see this is a pre-flash test. I even went down that route to see what that would do, just out of interest. Didn't really do much, anything exciting, so I'm just going to keep it simple. So let's make a print on the favourite negative that I chose, which is this one here. Just pull these out. Now, I'm not wearing gloves, you notice. I'm just taking the edge of the, if I can get to it, just taking the edge of the negative out, and then the rest of it I'll hold on the sides. If you don't have gloves, that's what I'd recommend, just holding it on the sides. Try not to get your fingers all over the negatives if you're new to printing in the darkroom or handling negs either way. So this would just go emulsion side down, glossy side up, and it goes upside down because when it goes through the enlarger it gets flipped. It's the other way around, a bit like your camera is. Okay, so that's in there. I'll just put these negs away out of and just give it a little blow with the rocket blower. Stick it in there. Now I used contrast 0 filter all the way on this print. That worked best for me, just to hold the contrast back, and also I had to burn the sky in a little tiny bit, and also I had to burn in the horizon as well. All these tests I was playing around with those things, and it's only personal preference really how you want the print to look. This is how I wanted the print to look, and this is the route that I chose to get there. So right, I'm pretty much ready to go. All I need to do is focus it onto the baseboard, focus the negative on the baseboard, get my paper out and start working on a print. So this is the negative projected onto the baseboard. My enlarger, I'm going to now just make sure that it's in focus using my grain focus finder tool. That looks good, and this is my contrast filter 0. As you can see there, I'm now going to put that inside. If I can see it. Where'd it go? Someone asked me the other day on YouTube if there's any difference between a filter being under the lens or a filter being underneath the bulb. And you know, I suppose if you're putting anything underneath a lens, it's going to have some sort of impact, but I've never ever seen any difference between under the lens or under the bulb. So maybe someone in the comments, if you've had any experiences or done any tests on that. Obviously if the filter's scratched and knackered, then you're going to see it possibly show up, but these filters are very clean, but and they're only pieces of coloured plastic, so I've never seen any difference or any degradation in any of my prints using under the lens filters, but it'd be interesting for what you guys say. I don't have an easel, for you wondering. I use my mat boards and they work okay for me. Easels are quite expensive, so I get by using these and they do the job. Right, okay, so little waft there, make sure there's no hairs on the paper that I've already put down. Off we go, 10 seconds. Let that go. And then I can start changing the timer to 20 seconds and burning in that sky. Okay. Put 20 seconds on. Here we go. I'm just slowly pulling it up. Now I can start creeping towards the top. You see that? Done. And the last part is just to use my burn tool. I don't know if you guys can see on the camera with the light on. You must be able to see something. take the filter out, and there's no filters now, so I'm going to burn straight into the horizon. Just turn the enlarger lamp on, no timer. I can count this one in and just sweep it across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should have turned that red light out. I'll leave it on for the video, but we're pretty much done. It might have been too much, I don't know, we'll soon see. Done. Okay, let's get this in the developer. Here she goes. Shouldn't take too long to come through. This is fresh multi-grade developer, Ilford's multi-grade. Starting to come through now. And I usually leave this in here for 1.5 to 2 minutes. Let all the black soak in. There's no rush. And there it is, time for washing. It's a resin paper, it's not fibre, so it doesn't take long to wash. Probably be washing this for about 4 or 5 minutes. There's a little tiny bit of rinse aid in here as well, which helps it wash, but pretty much all the chemicals just slip off the paper, and this is fresh water going on top of it here and draining out of there. So there you go, there's 3 prints I've made. If you want to purchase one of these prints and support the channel, please do so. You can go on my website and you'll find them on there. There's only these 3 that are going to be on that I've made in the darkroom this evening. So jump on there if you want to support the channel and grab one of these prints yourself. I'm going to hang this one back out to dry because it's still drying at the moment. So overall, I'm really glad that I went down to that beach and took photographs of that jetty. I've never been down there before, and that was the first time. So, you know, I tried the Franka Solida, didn't work out too well, but it was raining as well, but I still enjoyed myself taking photographs, coming in the darkroom, doing some developing and stuff, making a couple of prints. I enjoy it. This is what I like doing. These are the Negs here from the Franka Solida, so I've always got them if I want to look back on them. And then I went back a couple of days later with the RZ67. Kevin, thanks very much for sending me that. You know, I appreciate it. And the negatives come out great and the prints come out great as well. So I was really happy with the second shoot. And, you know, above all, we're shooting photographs, shooting film, and we're having fun at the same time. So anyway, guys, hope you like the video. Hope all the videos that I make are inspiring you. Thanks to everybody that supports the channel, the Patreons, and all of you guys that comment as well and give me inspiration as much as I'm giving other people inspiration. I really do appreciate it. So thanks a lot. I'll catch you next time.